Beyond the box score, Cameron Sadeghi. I usually put on music, but this show today needs no music, quite frankly. 2 deaths happened over the course of a few days and a few hours that I really want to point out. First, Kevin Ward Jr. got, the 20-year-old driver got killed when Tony Stewart hit him on the non-NASCAR race Saturday night. And my prayers go out to Ward and his family. And another death, Robin Williams, one of the greatest actors, one of the greatest comedians, comedic genius at his finest, and he died today as well. So, before we get on with the topics today on Beyond the Box Score, let's take a moment of silence for both Kevin Ward Jr. and Robin Williams. Alright, we have some things to talk about. The 60 Minutes interview was re-aired last night. Alex Rodriguez and the whole entire saga that has come about here in front of our eyes. Rodriguez was involved with performance-enhancing drugs. This isn't a secret. Tony Bosch talked about it. Bosch personally injected Rodriguez with biogenesis. And, we heard Scott Pelley did the interview 60 Minutes. We heard Manfred of the Manfred of the MLB talk about the issue, trying to defend what the MLB has done, and and Manfred talked about how Bosch really was scared for his life, and that he wanted to, just tell the MLB the true story and everything, and he sent out documents, and he didn't identify himself. He actually identified himself as Bobby, and then the MLB decided to buy these documents without really knowing who it was. So that's the number one mistake for the MLB, because you can skew any document however way you want to. And the MLB in this issue, there's a reason why they are not the number one sport in America. There's a reason why it's a pastime. Because it's quite frankly past its time. The steroid era, the dark cloud hangs over baseball, period. Okay, you look at everything from this biogenesis scandal with A-Rod, you look at so many other cases, and it begs the question, why does it only happen to this sport? And I felt like today that we should break down the circumstances on why the MLB is where it is today. It used to be the most beautiful game, a clean game, the game where it was the American game. It was the game where everybody would go to the park. But now, fans are turning to the NFL, and even the NBA, and other sports as well. So, why has it come to this? And I think the number one reason and the real start of not just biogenesis but performance-enhancing drugs in this sport is solely on the pressure that the athletes face, number one, and number two, the amount of games these players have to play. 162 regular season games, not playoffs, I'm just talking about regular season. Your body's going to break down at some point if you don't have any performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, isn't that fair to say? Because you're not just playing back-to-back nights. You may be playing a doubleheader. You may be playing with no sleep. How are you supposed to hit 100-mile-per-hour pitches when you have no sleep for consecutive weeks and weeks and weeks? How do you perform at the highest level when your game ended at 2 a.m., you come in to the hotel at 10, and you have to go to practice, and then you have a game? How does that work? Is it fair that these players take steroids? Is it morally right? No. But as Tony Bosch said it, and Scott Pelley asked, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Isn't it for all about the beauty of the game, protecting the integrity of the game? And quite frankly, Tony Bosch is right. There is no integrity in the game because there's so much pressure, there's so many games. It's almost like the players are not at fault because the system surrounding baseball is indirectly condoning and supporting performance-enhancing drugs. If the MLB wanted to take major steps in avoiding steroids or any performance-enhancing drugs, they would cut the season down. If Bud Selig really had the courage, or I don't know if it's whether courage or if he really wanted to clean this up, cut half the games. No need to play 162 games. I don't even think the NBA should play 82 games. And I'm a huge NBA fan. I mean, that Hito Turkoglu performance-enhancing drug scandal a few years back, that really scared me in the NBA as a fan. Really concerned. And now, with baseball, it will continue and continue if Major League Baseball does not make extreme changes. Because time is running out for the MLB to get back to the number one spot in America. Quite frankly, whether you like the MLB, whether you like the NBA, or whether you like the NFL, or arena football, the number one TV sport, the number one sport in America is the NFL. The number one league. And at one point, the MLB was the number one league. Now it's not. So, why do we, as fans, even go watch the games anymore? I mean, I know I'm going to a game Tuesday for baseball, and, you know, it just, it bothers me to every time I turn on the TV and I see a baseball game. I mean, you look at some of these stadiums and half the stadium isn't even filled, and you're looking at playoff caliber teams. Teams that are at the top of their leagues, at the American League, the National League, and you're just thinking, really? They're not selling out every game? It's even tiring for the fans. It's tiring for the announcers. It's tiring for the umpires. We're all tired. If you don't cut it in half, the sport will never get back to where it originally was. And, these horrific times in baseball, and the reason why I bring all this stuff up is because I saw the re-air yesterday on 60 Minutes, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta talk about this. Because so many people wonder, especially older generations, they wonder what happened to baseball. This is what happened. They didn't prepare for the long run. They could have avoided this issue. If you cut the games in half, if you don't have back-to-back games, give the players a break. Honestly. Why even go through that grind? I mean, the game is fun. The game is beautiful. It really is. It's a great, the game of baseball is such a great social environment. Okay, a lot of people have fun socially at the games. More so than the NFL. The NFL is cutthroat. I've been to NFL games. I've been to NBA. I've been to MLB. You go to an NFL game, it's like war. It's really war. Trust me, Chargers, Patriots, it's a war in the stands. Not just on the field, it's a war in the stands. I mean, everybody fighting over their teams. The ticket prices through the roof. Fans feel obligated and they feel like they have the power to completely fight with other fans, throw beer onto the field. But baseball, the tickets, you get a $50 ticket in the MLB. Let's say you're going to Angel Stadium, alright? You go and where you're sitting, you're right next to the field, correct? You go to the NFL and you probably have the worst seat in the stadium for $50. I don't know why baseball doesn't take advantage of some of the positives they have. They have cheaper tickets in the summer. More kids can go to the games, but you can't expect to fill consistently with the 162 games. And it's shown. And for baseball, it's quite sad to see the slow death of baseball in America. It's unfortunate. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to the NFL. Concussions in the NFL. Why are there so many concussions? There are so many new products that are hitting the market. By the way, this was on Outside the Lines on ESPN. Steve Delson did the report talking about concussions and how there's so many products trying to protect for concussions, and how some of these products are horrible, some of these products are mediocre for the most part. And, I think the one way you can reduce concussions, and they're having a little safe football in youth football leagues. They're having a little safe football initiative, which I'm really, really impressed with. I'm trying to... Youth Football Initiative. Okay. These helmet initiative programs for USA Football. Heads Up Football. There you go. Heads Up Football. Teaching kids how to tackle properly. That's the biggest, I think, fundamental in the game of football that's missing. So many guys in the NFL, a tackle now is just trying to literally pop the dude. I mean, the guy's running down the sideline, and you just lower your shoulder right into his chin. I mean, that's not tackling. Okay, that's just a body shot. And that's what the NFL has become at times. Body shots, because they're big hits. It's become an entertaining game. You see these hits on top 10 plays on SportsCenter, Fox Sports 1, NFL Network, NBC. You see it everywhere. Let me ask you this. It's kind of a rhetorical question. Unless if you want to answer, you can comment on the green bubble. Or you can tweet me at SM_Cameron. Answer this. I'm going to put this out there. When have you really seen, and give me a link if you have, a tackle that was in a top 10 play where the player who got tackled got back up immediately? Okay, not laying down on the ground for 30 minutes. I'm talking about immediately. Because some of the hits they show on these highlight reels and everything, all big hits. All big hits. All big hits. I mean, the only tackle I can remember was the game-saving tackle between the Titans and the Rams in 1999, the Super Bowl, when the Titans were 1 yard short. Only time I can remember, a clean tackle. We don't have enough clean tackles, and some of these kids, they feel like if I get the big hit, I can make it to the big leagues. And unfortunately, that should not be the case. Safe tackling is huge, and now I believe in youth football, they need to have a heads-up football certificate, I believe. If you have that certificate, then you are like officially a coach in youth football, and that's great. That's great. You're a certified youth football coach, and that's really important because this game is just so violent. People always talk about how football is a contact sport. No. Football is a combative sport. Let me say that again. Football is a combative sport. The contact sport is basketball. Basketball is a contact sport. But football is a combative, powerful game. And if you break the rules, yeah, you'll get a 15-yard penalty, but you'll ruin a guy's life. Okay? That 15-yard penalty doesn't mean anything. There's only so much you can do as a league to protect yourself. Injuries are going to happen. Jimmy Grant, or a guy comes down the middle, safety's right there, head to head. Yeah, it's a 15-yard penalty, okay, but it's going to happen. But when we teach these kids how to play safe, tackle, football, we're going to get less of those injuries, less of those cases, less of the Junior Seau cases. And this initiative, I'm really proud of the NFL for what they've done with this initiative. But some of these products that have hit the market and all these con men, making these products that, we're going to reduce and prevent concussions. Come on. Really? Really? You can prevent concussions? No. It's just garbage, really. And I'm just proud of the NFL and the NFL Players Association for getting this done. And I think, this is why the NFL is the number one. Because when chaos occurs, when desperate times come, they always come through with a resolution. In everything. Everything, whether it's TV deals with, national TV, whether it's creating new programs, expanding upon their brand, such as NFL Red Zone, NFL Sunday Ticket. All of these little programs, all of these little things contribute to a multi-billion-dollar machine. And that's the NFL. So, congratulations to the NFL for, again, finding a resolution to an enormous problem in youth football and all levels of tackle football. Let's move on to the NFL. I mean, did I just say that? We need to have a blooper reel, and that's going to be a part of it. I just said, let's move on to the NFL, and then the concussion story, I said, let's move on to the NFL. Let's continue with the NFL, everybody. Marshawn Lynch. And I'm not going to... First of all, Marshawn Lynch is accused of assault and property damage. And I'm not going to automatically assume that he is guilty. Okay? This is not the court of public opinion. And also, my uncle would get mad at me if I even said he was convicted or guilty of these charges. So, and by the way, contact Dog Awesome Connie for all your legal needs. But getting back to the point. NFL players and violent acts. It's such a common occurrence now. Pac-Man Jones. Now Lynch. Now all these guys. Why? And I've been thinking about this. You can go ahead and comment or answer. If you ever reach me or want to talk to me about it, go for it. Or if you want to talk about it right now. Does the violent nature of the game translate into the lives of NFL players? And in my opinion, there may not be scientific proof, but I believe that 150%. The violent nature of the game, I think, really gets to some of these guys, especially the superstar guys. You'll see it sometimes that the guys are trying to make the cut, but some of these individuals who, like a Marshawn Lynch, like a Pac-Man Jones, like a, you could even say Plaxico Burress, or guys like that, you just wonder. And with Lynch and some of the other guys, some of these other guys, when the NFL was not the number one sport, some of this stuff would never happen. It would never happen. I think ever since the NFL became the number one sport, egos were pumped. Egos were put on display. And Roger Goodell, I think he is a good commissioner. I don't think he's incredible. I don't think he's horrible. Because if you say he's a horrible commissioner, when you're the number one sport in America, come on. I mean, you can't be a bad commissioner. Okay, so I don't think he's an awful commissioner at all. But I think he's a good, solid commissioner. But he has come up short in these issues. With the Ray Rice issue, he came up short. He just came up short. Okay? It almost seemed like it was a free pass for Ray Rice to do what he did. No! 2 games? No! He should have been suspended for a season at least, in my opinion. And some of you are saying, uh-oh, Cameron, don't be harsh. Look, if you're a top-notch player and you consider yourself a professional, act like one. Act like one. Okay? And if you commit something stupid like that, sorry for my language there, if you can commit something like that, you should be held accountable for it. And some of these NFL players, more than any other sport, their egos are just on a different level. And you would think, this is the ultimate team game. You're right, but they still commit these acts that are beyond buffoonery. Like, way worse than childish acts, subhuman acts, really. And, with the Michael Vick dog, fighting incident and all these incidents. And I worry for the victims, really. Because, and I feel like this whole violence issue and this entire thing, it kind of reminds me of the NBA in a way. When the NBA had some problems earlier on, they were getting some success, and then they had some drug issues, some violence issues. And people were talking about how, I don't want to go see the NBA anymore. Because it's too violent, or some of the players do some bad things off the court. And I feel like, unfortunately, the NFL may be a victim of that. The NFL may be a victim of the court of public opinion, or just public opinion in general, saying, why do we need to see these horrible people, these criminals on the field? I don't want to see criminals on a football field. I don't care how good they are. The general fan is going to say that. And once that starts clicking, it's hard to recover. And the NFL needs to put... To me, I think the NFL has become a little soft in a way. They feel like they can get away with anything they want. I mean, you look at just from the little things, the ticket prices. That's just one thing. But this is the big issue. Right? They think they can kind of get away with the 2-game suspension with Ray Rice. No way. People are not going to just, it's okay. To society. And what Goodell did to Vic was maybe the greatest wake-up call of all time. It saved Michael Vick. It saved dogs, it saved people, it saved everybody. So why can't we have harsh punishments and save everyone, including the victims? The NFL has a bigger call to answer. They're not just helping the league, but if they had really suspended Ray Rice for a season or for a very long period of time, way more than 2 games. You know what they would have said? Culturally, in pop culture, just culturally, the way they are as a symbol in our culture, in America, they would be looked at as a beautiful organization. Because they have so much power, the NFL. The NFL, they have the power, if they wanted to become a political organization, like if they said, you know what, we're going to support Democrats, they would have a huge effect in political parties. I know most people wouldn't believe that, but they do. They have such a big effect in our pop culture today, and just everything that we do. The NFL said, you know what, Ray Rice? What you did was not good at all. Was not... no reason to condone, no reason to excuse, and we're going to suspend you for a whole season, and we're going to stand up. We're going to stand up and say no to domestic violence. They would win an entire viewing population. And now with the Ray Rice thing and all these ridiculous acts by some of these athletes in the NFL, and the NFL's poor judgment, and 40% of the female No, 40% of the NFL viewing population, they are females. Okay? With the Ray Rice thing, I think you definitely lose a big chunk of that viewing audience there. And you look at some of the things when it comes to the NFL and what they have when it comes to women. I mean, they even, so many men, women, children, all races, all genders, all sexual orientation, everybody. They love the NFL in America. Well, not everybody universally, but I would say almost everyone. And I don't want to say it's a slow death, but if this keeps happening for the next 5 to 10 years, 15 years, the NFL will be dethroned. The NFL will be dethroned. Let's move on to one quick... I want to mention this. Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart's car killed Kevin Ward on Saturday night. And he has not decided whether he will race this weekend in Michigan. And some are believing this to be criminal behavior. And NASCAR is still investigating, and this is really bizarre. One of the... I'm just at a loss of words when it comes to this entire thing and the way it's been played out. And NASCAR, another game, another sport similar to the NFL in a way, where you can only do so much to protect people in NASCAR. Okay, injuries are going to happen, but NASCAR is the one sport where death is not just a possibility, but a brutal reality. And for NASCAR, they're in a real predicament. They're in a pickle because they can bend the rules, they can do things, but how can you control someone to get out of the car? And how can you tell Tony Stewart to move his car and to not hit Kevin Ward? I mean, what are you going to do? Lock the door so Kevin Ward can't open the door? I mean, the nature of the game, of course there's going to be loopholes. And NASCAR better really do something and protect themselves in a PR-wise and really protect Tony Stewart's image and really protect the entire brand, because, whatever NASCAR's viewing population was, or the viewing audience, they're going to lose a lot of viewers. It's just a reality. They're going to lose a lot of viewers because people are going to say, too dangerous. Why should I tune into something where death is a possibility on live television? I don't blame anyone for saying that. And this incident highlights the dangers of this game and the harsh reality of this game and NASCAR. And hopefully, best of wishes to NASCAR. Well, not just to NASCAR, but to Kevin Ward's family and to everybody involved in the situation. And if they can come up with a good resolution, if they can come up with a resolution, everything, I think everything will not be restored, but they will definitely at least bring back some of their viewing audience, because I don't think many people are going to tune into NASCAR. It's going to be less and less if this continues to happen, obviously. beyond the box score here, I know this is kind of a shorter show. I just want to say real quick before I head off on the air. I go off the air. Infinity Sports Network, and I kind of want to use this show, Beyond the Box Score, as a show that we also talk about some of the things that go on our channel and some of the other things that not just go on our channel, but Infinity Sports Network. Infinity Sports Network is a channel where they do the same thing as us, pretty much, talking sports. And Infinity has some really solid hosts, some solid talent. They've got the guys really leading the charge. Noah Taborda, guys like Carl Mogaline, Daniel Levy, Blake Devine. So, Infinity, they have some great shows, some great production, and we're partners with them, and we're glad to be partners with them. We hope that you listen to them and you listen to us as well. We're good, healthy sports balance, your sports fix every day. We got it for you. They got it for you too. And it's been an honor, and Robert Dieters, of the president of National Sports, talked about it on Facebook and put it out there as a post. He said, we really appreciate everyone who's been a part of this, including the guys at Infinity. And all I want to say is the guys at Infinity have been very nice. They've been very respectful in the entire process. And I know they're going to do a great job. That's not a question. There are going to be opportunities where we could simulcast their shows, and they're going to simulcast our shows. So it's a great relationship. It's a great camaraderie between both channels, both networks. And the one thing, and I'm not going to, I guess I'll just speak for everybody. No, I'm crazy. Not crazy, but ridiculous to say that. I don't want to speak for everybody. Actually, should I just speak for everybody? Sure, I will. All we want to do here is just talk sports in an ethical way, in a way where we can, sometimes, here, I'll put it this way. Sometimes the propaganda from some of the mainstream networks, I don't want to call any networks out, but they don't focus on the games, or it's always a blame game. It's always, Tony Romo lost the football game, but I thought the Dallas Cowboys lost it. Sports talk has been so unethical, especially on the radio. So many people have listened to music on the radio, news talk on the radio, but sports talk on the radio, online radio, and other forms of radio, it's been dying down because we have hosts who come out and label people, come out and attack people, attack people's credibility, attack others for their race, their religion, or sexual orientation, or whatever the case may be. And I think the one thing that both National Sports and Infinity is that we just want to cover the game. We just want to cover the details that are important to you. And I hope we've accomplished that over this time, and we will accomplish that. And if you feel like, as an audience, that we have not accomplished that, voice your concerns, and we will be there to fix it. And if you feel like we're unprofessional, call us out on it. I don't mind being called out. And I hope we've done a great job. I hope that you still listen to us, and all of you listeners have been incredible. I have nothing else to say. Cameron Sadeghi, Beyond the Box Score. I know it's kind of a more of a serious, well, not all shows, I mean, to me, I mean, they're pretty serious, but it felt like a sad, devastating day today. And it did. I mean, with the loss of Kevin Ward Jr. and Robin Williams and some of the issues that have been going on, it's fair to feel this way, and we'll get over this. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, and rest in peace, Kevin Ward Jr. I'm Cameron Sadeghi, National Sports, Beyond the Box Score. We'll see you next time.